Hey Mike, how you doing today?
Hey Zany, what's going on?
Not much. So we got the election coming up on November 4th for the local elections. What do you think about that this year?
I think it's a really good election. It's a local election. Not too many people vote in the town board elections or the village trustee elections. So the problem with that is a lot of their friends wind up getting picked in the Democratic committee or Republican committees who know people who can go on these positions, like village trustee or town board, because it's heavily competitive for one donor to give $5,000, but to be a village trustee and have friends in the Democratic committee makes it easier to get on with about 25 friends.
Okay. And so I mean we're in the same town, so it looks like two of our council members or board members will have competition, but the one is Democrat and conservative, which is interesting to see how that sometimes cross endorsement works.
Well, let me go back to why the village trustee gets picked by 25 people who are known in the Democratic committee. Well, not many people vote over there. They only vote for the offices they like. Tim Kennedy, who's in Congress. They vote for President Obama, who was very popular to vote for against Mitt Romney. And then they're only going to vote for that one bubble in president, or maybe one bubble for Congress, or maybe, if you're lucky, state senate or state assembly, which a lot of people do too as well, because they're more informed on the state level. They like state politics. But again, they're not going to go all the way over to the side where normally the offices are, where nobody that knows that much about them. So they do get picked by very few people. So I wind up writing myself in for village trustee.
Yeah, and obviously this year is an off year if you look at obviously the presidential election, but also obviously the statewide elections too. We're not voting for assembly or state senate. So this is a very hyper local election year.
Yeah. So this is county and this is municipal government.
Absolutely. So
Okay.
we will be having, like I said, the town board election, but then we'll also have the county legislator because we're in the same town, we're in the same county
Yeah. Yeah.
district. So
Same
yeah.
same ballot, but yeah, depending on which person gets the party line or not. I'll be voting Working Families Party. If I don't agree, I'll be voting for the slate in the town board positions, where it's Gina Santa Maria, Hennessy, O'Malley, and I'll also be voting for the highway superintendent.
Yeah, for the county legislator, it's Mike Kushin. He's on the Democrat and conservative. Nobody's going to be on the working families ballot, but there's a Republican, Stephen Montpremer. I'm
I'll
just
vote
going to
for
write somebody
Cushion.
in.
I'll vote for Kusha on the Democratic Party line for that one, not so much the conservative party line. I tend not to like conservative politics, but I do have conservative values. I could say that I'm not blue or nothing. I'm all over the board sometimes, but I tend to vote very center left or far left, depending on how I'm feeling. But no, Kushin and I go back a little bit. He and I actually, I can tell you about this. He and I actually helped in second grade. I was in second grade. He was in either first grade or kindergarten, and he was down the hall from me in the kinder. I was like a first grade, second grader, and I was about to be out of there in about a year because it only went up to second grade. It went from K through second grade. It was the old early childhood center, School 54. We rode the bus together because we were in the same neighborhood. But what we did was my teacher was very choked up with the fact that the French bombed the Rainbow Warrior One for Greenpeace in the anti-nuclear protest in 1984. So she was very choked up about that. So she said, "Why don't we help them because they don't have a boat to save whales because we all love whales? Well, we help them raise money for their Rainbow Warrior 2 so that they can go out and defend whale habitats and defend the species from not being wiped out and extinct."
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a powerful subject that's very deep and complex. And going back to the county ledge race, Mike Kushin is definitely tall, and he's very respectful and
Six
polite
foot
as well.
seven, this guy is.
Yeah, he's tall, but he's also very polite and respectful. Either way,
Yeah, yeah.
I'll
He
be
was
writing
always
somebody
like that.
in.
Even when I was a kid, he was always like that.
I'll be writing someone in. But then we also look and we got the county sheriff, and there's no Democratic candidate. They just got the Republican and conservative Garcia. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't like the conservatives. I was voting Republican.
Yeah, I'll be
Only
writing.
because there's a few salvageable Republicans within the party that's an extreme minority where I can bank off of, where conservatives tend to go with very pro-America, America first, KKK politics when in their anti-immigrant rhetoric, where at least a Republican, you can go by the libertarian or the pro-business guy or the guy that's like Grisanti, who, just he makes six figures. Of course he can be a Republican. But then you also have a very minority of moderate Republicans who go in coalition with some Democrats. So I'll be voting for Garcia for sheriff.
I'll be writing someone in. And then that's pretty much what we have on our ballot in our area. It'll be interesting. What do you think about the city of Buffalo mayor's race?
Well, the City of Buffalo mayor's race, I'm supporting Sean Ryan, and I would love if Betty Jean Grant's uh, people and policies make it to his desk, and then he could maybe help out those two individuals who are on the Restore Buffalo line, both in the mayor's seat and the county legislative seat, so that we could one day put the issue of Humboldt Parkway burdens and also disparage to rest and bury the thing for once and for all.
So those
That's
who
what
may not be
I.
familiar, Sean Ryan is obviously the Democrat who won the
Yeah,
primary. And then
yeah,
when you're talking about the Restore Buffalo Party, what
yeah.
exactly is that?
That's independent.
Yeah, so I mean, I believe that's Michael Gaynor who's on that
Yeah,
line. Why did
yeah.
he have to go with the Restore Buffalo Party? What happened?
Well, doesn't have enough name recognition within the Democrats, and Sean Ryan did.
And
And
then
also, he had a big. I met him at the Anti Kings rally, that my parents and I went to. And what we did was, my mother and I started marching. My dad had back trouble and had to go back to the car, but my mother started marching, and her nursing buddies were there, and we were all hugging and saying the cheers and stuff like that. Well, there he came. Talking to people, saying vote for him on the Restore Buffalo line. He for 3 minutes he was telling me how much of a piece of shit Sean Ryan is, and that he does nothing for Buffalo, and that he's very heartached because of that, and that's why he's making a run for it.
obviously there'll be a Republican, James Gardner. I have seen a few signs for him in the city of Buffalo. I don't think he'll
He's
get
an African
really.
American man, isn't he?
I'm sorry?
He's an African American man, isn't he?
I believe he is of lighter skin color. I mean,
He's not he's not a man of color.
no, no, he definitely appears to be white. I mean, I don't know how he identifies per se, but
Okay.
nonetheless, I mean, it's interesting to see that there is some support in the city for a Republican. I don't think he'll get anything over 10% or anything, but I think it's interesting.
Shows you how much I know about him. I guess that's how Republican I am. That's just a funny joke, I mean, I'm trying to add on to my over my head.
But yeah, no, for Sean
Sorry about that.
Ryan.
I should have known better. I'm sorry about that. But no, I hope good luck to the guy. I mean, I don't know what he's running on.
Yeah, for Sean Ryan, it'll be interesting to see, I believe he'll win with very large margins to see how he handles the city's finances and all of the
Yeah,
different
yeah.
issues that were left behind by Byron Brown, let's be honest.
Sean Ryan represents this type of Democrat, progressive as he may be, but progressive, not socialist. Let's be honest. Um, but no, Sean Ryan represents a form of progressivism that's not only good for the city, but it's good for the goodies that we could get from the state government in the form of bike paths, in the form of metro rail extension. He will. I mean, I asked him privately and publicly at an event, could he call my town supervisor, Mr. Joe Eminger, just to tell him, like Lincoln would say to a congressman when he was lobbying for the anti-slavery amendment, just to call him and say, well, Metro Rail extension into Tonawanda and through Amherst is a good thing for Erie County. Can you please say that to him in the region? And hopefully he'll say yes. And then he said yes. He said yes. He'd be happy to say that to him, because what else is he there for besides him and Mark Poloncarz? To go to the town supervisor. He's a town supervisor, Joe Eminger. He's got a lot of pull in Tonawanda. He knows the Chamber of Commerce, and also Tonawanda is a big suburb. So you have these folks that can talk to him, like Sean Ryan and like Mark Poloncarz, that could say, well, it's not only good for Tonawanda, but it's good for the region. It's good for the county. Metro Rail extension.
Yeah,
So
so it'd be definitely
that's a
a
little
good.
bit better than the Republican I know.
Yeah, it'd be a good thing if the railroad extension, the metro rail extension were to be
Bike path.
implemented.
We're supposed to get a bike path from Skidjackwood all the way downtown.
I would definitely like to see some bike paths. I think it's
There's going to be a
interesting.
huge one on Elmwood. This is going to be a huge one on Elmwood. It's
Yeah,
going
I
to go from
support.
Elmwood to Jackwood all the way downtown. It's going to be via Elmwood.
Yeah, I definitely support it on Elmwood. I would say it's interesting during the primary because obviously Michael Gaynor wasn't able to, you know, get on past the primary for the Democrats, so he had to go on the Restored Buffalo Party. It's interesting because Sean Ryan and Chris Scanlon spent so much money. Do you have any thoughts on that at all?
Chris Scanlon got along with online. That's another one. I'm with the Republican again. I'm not so much of a
Well,
partisan after all. Am I? No, Chris Scanlon. I liked. He gave me a blue check mark. Like NATO gave me a blue check mark on Facebook to give me permission to share their stuff and comment on their stuff. You know what I mean? And like the stuff because they'll like your stuff. They give you a blue check mark. Well, Scanlon gave me one of those because I liked his Hispanic Veterans Memorial post at the Naval Park when I was volunteering down there. I got a chance to see the ceremony, and he was pretty much in there. Whether he's more pro vet than Sean Ryan, it's to be seen. Sean Ryan, I've campaigned with him for several years. He's a very humble guy.